Okay, I put it on the lathe and just took some surface off, and where I just scratched the surface off we've got a nice brass casting under there, but the dip in the top there where it contracted and sucked in was about 9mm. So to machine that out I'm going to lose about 20mm diameter, and 20mm diameter is going to make it look a funny shape. So it's going back into the melt pot again, and now start making another one up, and where the feeds go in, on the side the feeds go in the top, I'm going to make a thicker bit and put some bigger air vents on the top, and with any luck do away with that shrinkage bit there. Try and see. I'll keep you updated as I go along. I won't show you the whole thing because I've done it all before. I'll just show you the amendments on this video, and we'll have to see what happens. Now starts the laborious task again of getting rid of the bulk of the wax. I've done it all before in the other videos, so I'll come back to you on this one when I've finished. So what have I done different on this one? Okay, air vent, nice big chunky one, about a 10mm patch on there. That's the area where the metal shrunk in on the last attempt. So we've got a thicker layer going in there to allow for shrinkage in. And this air vent is a nice bit thicker, which will hold the brass molten for longer. So with any luck, as it shrinks, it should take it from the centre of that one, plus I got the buffer there. Everything else is more or less the same. I'll strengthen the bar in here because this end bit fell off last time. Still got my little peg in there, little metal peg supporting the fuse holder onto the barrel liner, which is also supported in this end. Next thing, get some coats of zircon and fused silicate sand on there, let it dry out properly, and then for the melt again. It's going to take a little while, so probably take me about a week, 10 days to get all the coats on there. So you've seen it all before in the past videos, so it's not going to be putting that on there for you. These are just the edited highlights up to the melt. Try to remember to get the melt this time, the pour, and see what results we get. Drilled me 2 holes in the end of the barrel liner, so we've got something to hang it up by. Everything is all looking quite good. You can see my little patch on there where I thickened the barrel off where it shrunk in last time. I kept the sprue and the feed all the same size. That's the insides of a 22mm bit of copper pipe. Filled up the copper pipe, let the wax harden, heat it up with a blow lamp, and then it slides out. Warm it up a little bit without melting it, and you can bend the arc on there. All looking good so far. So all these bits on there, all bigger than the barrel. As long as you don't have any holes in the barrel, you're fine for machining afterwards. If you have holes in the barrel, you'll get holes in your brass, and you have to take quite a bit of metal off to get rid of the holes. If you have lumps on your barrel protruding out of the barrel, they're all fine because they'll just skim off. I've just linked these two together this time for a little bit of extra strength, and linked these two together for a little bit of extra strength. I have a tendency to be a bit clumsy and knock them off sometimes. Just a little bit of expand and foam in the end there. Give that a little while just to go firm, and then ready for the dipping. Same process as in my last video with the dipping, so I won't bother to put that one on here because you've seen it all before. Here we are at dip number 5. I said 2 zircon on it, 2 fused silicate, and this is the 5th dip. That's now got to have the 3rd coat of the fused silicate on it. There we have it with the silica sand on it, or fused silicate should I say, get it right. And at the top there I just dribbled a little more slurry over that end knob. A little more sand on there because I want it a little bit thicker there. That's where the barrel liner joins the fused silicate coating. So I've got a ceramic shell around here is wax, and that's going on to the metal there. You'll always get a little bit of crack in there because the steel that that's adhered to is going to expand more than the fused silicate when you heat it. But once again, so far so good. Okay, it's just had its 9th coat, and as you can see, it's put on a little bit of weight. There we go. Nice thick layer on there. That's just about dry. I'll give it another couple of hours. See, the colour hasn't quite changed in the little tucks in there. Still a little bit green. We're looking for this nice orangey yellow colour. The grit I've just put through a 20 mesh sieve, so it's all nice and clean, ready for the next use. That's the crap which come out of it. Okay, I'll give that another couple of hours. Next dip says in the SuspendaSlurry FS, and no grit. That's literally just the slurry coat, the last one. Otherwise you got like a fruit pastel here. Just dip that in the slurry alone, that'll seal that all off. Let it dry, then the next stage is wax melt out. I had 1 or 2 thoughts on that, which I'll show you as I go along. Now ready for the final dip. So just literally a slurry coating. Quick stir with the paddle. Just give the paddle a quick clean. shake off all the loose sand. You don't want to leave it in too long, don't want it to soak too much. It's getting quite heavy now. This is where I end up with drips all over the floor. And that's it, that's the final coat. Just leave that till to dry. So it's got that green colour at the moment. When that's dry, that'll turn that yellowy orange colour. So far, the actual product, I'm very, very pleased with. Very pleased with. So I had attempts in the past using green sand, using plaster of Paris, and the main problems you get with that other product is moisture. You can't dry it out enough, and as soon as you put molten metal at 1100 degrees in that sort of quantity into any mould which has got moisture into it, it just instantly turns any moisture into steam. Steam forces its way out through the mould. You end up with bubbles, you end up with a volcano effect. And I was getting towards giving up, then I come across this Ransom & Randolph SuspendaSlurry. I thought I'd give it a go. And this is the third attempt. So the small cannon I done came out beautifully. The second cannon, the actual moulding was great, but my error in that I didn't put large enough vents on the top. So as that bulk cooled down, it shrunk, and there wasn't enough heat in the air vents, in the metal in the air vents, to keep the metal liquid until it shrunk. So on this one I put the extra large vent on the top there, or riser, or whatever you want to call it, and you can hardly see it because the cover's on, but that's a thicker layer in there. That's where it shrunk last time. The heat was maintained as I done the pour. Hot metal went through, kept this part of the mould hot, so the metal stayed more molten for longer in there. It's the last to shrink, last to set, last to shrink. So that's where it took it from. So I put an extra 10mm layer on there, just a little patch, in case we get it again. Then I can machine that off. Looking forward now to getting the brass into it and seeing what the outcome is. Okay, catch up with you again on the melting out process. That's always a problem with anything like this, because if you melt it too quickly, you heat the shell up too quick. If you do it too slowly, you expand the wax inside the shell before it actually melts and crack the shell. So that's what I've done on the last one. I cracked the shell. As you saw, it's repairable and it worked well. Just operating error learning curve for me on what you can do and what you can't do with different products, but I know I shall be using this one in the future. This time, to give a fair chance of a faster melt out, I'm just drilling the wax out of the risers. Getting as much of that as I can out. All help with expansion of the wax while you're heating. Just being careful not to catch the shell with the drill. So I do that to all of them. I can get some heat in there to melt out the risers. So the main thing is to relieve as much as the pressure as you can on the actual barrel part of the shell before you start putting heat onto it, because wax does expand a lot. Do that to all of them, then we'll get some heat onto it. So after I drilled out all I could, I'm just using the blow lamp now, a little bit at a time on each of them, just to take the wax out of the risers. The big one there I can get in a little bit on the body, but I don't want to heat it up too much in one go. That look like we're just about there now. That should have the wax down to that level, which gives a little bit of relief on the barrel. Next stage is probably leave that a couple of days now to really get all the moisture out of it, then put it in the oven and melt the rest of the wax out of it. Right, now going for the burnout. Burn all the wax out if we can. Now you can see in there with the camera, I've taken all the wax out of the risers and the sprue, done it with a blow lamp and a heat gun, and they got free flow out of the shell. With any luck it'll stop building pressure up, Another thought, I'm just going to hit it with heat at the bottom, see if I can melt it out before it has a chance to expand too much. Okay, let's fire this up and see what happens. Nice steady burn. Once again, if you're doing this inside, do make sure that you got ventilation. Bit of heat in there now. Getting the old wax run. open, but get a bit of smoke in here now, so we've got to turn the extractor off. about all out. Still got a little dribble coming from the bottom. You can see right the way through there. Give it a few more minutes. Yep, the dribbling stopped. On fire inside at the moment. That's just the wax which soaked into the mould. Not too concerned about that because that will all burn off when we vitrify it, which is the next step. There we go, straight into the pig bin furnace. I'll just cover that up now. Take that up to about 1,000 degrees just to vitrify the shell. Getting quite warm in there now. It's only just started, it's up just over 300 degrees and climbing. I've been running about 5 minutes. It's getting mighty hot in there. We're at 865 degrees at the moment and steadying off. So we just need to up the blow and up the gas a little bit, get a bit more temperature in there. Start to glow right nicely. So glowing nice and red in there. We hit the 1,000 degree mark. 5 minutes to cook, then turn off and let it cool down. Right, it's been running for about 5 minutes. Everything's nice and hot in there. I brought it up to what we at now, 1,086 degrees. Took me about 15 minutes to bring it up to that temperature, a bit at a time. Running there over 1,000 degrees for about 5 minutes. It'll all be nice and toasty in there. So cover the hole up again. Turn off the gas and the blower. And just leave that to cool down until it's hot enough to handle. There you go, just removed it from the pig bin foundry. All nice and white. No major cracks in there. A bit of cracking at the top there, but we always get that, so that's where the slurry was covering the end of the stainless steel barrel liner. And of course the slurry or ceramic coatings don't expand and contract, well hardly at all, but the metal inside it was going to. So always get a little bit of crack in there, which we'll just touch in with some slurry and a paintbrush. Let them cool right down now, and then we can have a look on the inside. Okay, one little test you can do, just give it a gentle tap. We're getting a ring. so there's no major cracks on the inside or outside of it. So just the little ones at the top there which we talked about. Okay, now to try and melt down the last casting. Right, that's alright, it's going to take a little while, so we'll come back to that in a little while. Right, what I was doing, so I just laid the shell on some sand in there. I'll now make a little polytunnel. Hit the shell up, full forward. Okay, we've got the heat coming up nicely in there. We're just under 1,000 degrees inside there. And we've got a little burner going in this one. Start getting the shell hot. We want up at around 600 degrees for boring. The temperature inside there at the moment is about 410, rising quickly. So I'll probably give that one a little bit of break because it's got to be ready too soon. Okay, so should be going about 20 minutes now. Big lump there to heat up, and that's just started melting the surface off of it. So just added more sand in there. Make sure and cover that end up. If it's going to split, that's where it's going to split. That end is where the barrel liner is supported by the ceramic shell. Basically just supporting the weight of the shell so you don't get any heavy points on one part of the shell. Little cradle for it. Got the heat gun running there at the moment to keep it all hot, take away or reheat any heat that the sand that I put around taken away. Getting towards the pour now. Yep, pretty hot in there.
That's your little tub of red dollop putting on the top.
Yep.
What's the white stuff?
Borax.
What do you do with that? Well, you've done that.
I just put the borax in, yeah. There's the flux.
Anywhere, or you get this side, you'll...
I think we're up to depth now.
Right, so you're going to be ready to turn the gas on.
1280 degrees.
I'll go over there, so you do your tilting.
Turn the gas off. You don't want any gas pressure in them pipes, just in case. Our thermocouple's a bit hot. So the glass tube.
Whole lot off. What you got? Just scooping it with it.
She's a little bit on the warm side.
Clean, doesn't it?
So borax, and the borax pulls the metal out of the dross. sec. Get out of the way. Push that towards me, towards the carriage. Yeah. Go.
Can you squeeze it?
Getting older thing with bloody gloves on.
You weren't bothered about the bottom ones?
Top one should hold if we can get one of them done.
Don't make you worry, it's cooling down, isn't it? You've got it in. If you put your these little ones.
You can't hold anything in. That's still alright. You've got to bring the nip up.
What, here?
Yeah. Nip any harder? Okay, we're ready then.
Yeah, and your top bit, or you're not bothering?
What's that?
Your bar to hold the top of the crucible. That
I'll just pop new angle bits. There we go, just in case.
right, we going?
Yeah. Yeah, tap. So you won't notice that one. Leave it on. Leave him on.
Right. Quick as possible, are we?
Yeah, there we go. Is that it?
Yeah, do we not want to max it out?
Mould very quick.
We're not going to max it out.
At this other end anyway. Okay. And rest.
Your red stuff. That's the one. Get that one. What does that stuff do? Make it go solid.
That causes a thermal shell on the top to keep the heat in. But that big one is sucking down, which is what we wanted. There you go, all pretty uneventful. Now we just have to wait for the great unveiling. There you go, that's the hot top of the material now activating. As it burns very hot and stop the risers from solidifying too quickly. That's had a little while to cool down now. All those cracks you see in the mould there have all appeared during the cooling down process. It's time now to crack it open and see what we've got inside there. I think I'll put my heat-proof gloves on. Bit hot, but it just went down my gloves. That's normally in your shoe, but
it's coming off cleaner this time. Shrunk away from the mould more.
it's good. Perhaps if you leave that cool right down, that
Usually stick on it more, doesn't it?
that's the warmest my legs have been all day. bad at all. Can't see any signs of shrinkage on there. Yeah, tiny bit on the top there, but that's an extra 10mm on there. So that'll all machine down. That's still a bit hot, so that's still changing colour. So just letting it cool right down now. See what we've got. Dare I say it? So far so good. Okay, so we've got half a failure here now. The larger riser on the top done its job, but done its job too well. We've got a little bit of a hole in the mould there now, or in the barrel should I say, not the mould. It's sucked it straight through. Back to the drawing board. I think the solve to that problem is, while that's being poured, is to keep one of the blowers on this large riser to keep the metal in there molten until the main body has solidified. Give it somewhere to draw from. Never mind, update you with the next one. We'll get there in the end, I'm determined.